Democrats warn that Trump has a plot to radically transform America into a fascist authoritarian regime. Wait, is that true? Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. So, it seems Biden isn't doing too well in the polls. And with Trump widening the lead over him, let's just say people have already jumped to their own conclusions as to what may come. It's not a question of if Trump will be more authoritarian, but instead what kind of authoritarian he'll definitely be. With that in mind, one particularly chilling plan is scaring the living daylights out of people. And it's deviously called Project 2025. Super scary! So is this Trump's secret plan to make America into a dictatorship? A secret plan that you can look up online very easily? Time for another segment of Wait, is that true? Actually, Project 2025 is an initiative developed by the Heritage Foundation, a conservative DC-based think tank, along with various other conservative organizations. It outlines conservative policy proposals for the next president. It's over 900 pages in a publication called Mandate for Leadership, the Conservative Promise. 900 pages! If I wanted to read a 900-page fantasy novel about politics, I'd just read Game of Thrones. Now, these are just proposals from a conservative think tank. Neither Trump nor whoever will be president is obligated at all to follow through with them. But seeing how Trump's first presidency actually followed a majority of the Heritage Foundation's policy recommendations, many are automatically assuming that Project 2025 is Trump's likely plan for his second round in office. Because Trump definitely seems like the kind of guy who likes to curl up and read 900 pages of anything. As a result, critics have had some really colorful descriptions of Project 2025. Many claim it will cement America as a right-wing authoritarian state and institutionalize Trumpism. Trumpism? What, becoming an attention-seeking narcissist? That's already an institution. It's called Instagram. They also say Project 2025 is a far-right assault on America. It's draconian, unhinged. It's a guide to turn the U.S. into a fascist's paradise. Yes, fascist's paradise. My least favorite Coolio B-side. Rest in power. I think you get the picture. They're loudly ringing the bell that Trump will end democracy yet again. I'm surprised there hasn't been a left-leaning media article that's just a series of car alarm noises. In reality, Project 2025 has been public for more than a year now. But the outrage really erupted after Heritage Foundation President Kevin Roberts appeared on Steve Bannon's War Room podcast and said this.
We are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
And since this was on a podcast, I assume it was followed with some contrived segue to plug BetterHelp. Roberts later clarified, saying that American patriots are committed to peaceful revolution at the ballot box, and that it's the left that has a long history of violence, so it's up to them to allow a peaceful transfer of power. Here is a live view of American political discourse over who's causing all the problems. Many on the left took Roberts' remark as a cryptic threat, with some comparing him to a member of the Oath Keepers. And if you don't remember who the Oath Keepers are, I don't blame you. Political groups in America these days are like Oreo flavors. You remember there being only two, then one day you wake up and go, when did all of these pop up? Which is why a year later, the media is all over Project 2025. Anything that makes people afraid sells, after all. I'm surprised the Puffington Post hasn't posted an article that just says boo. So let's try something crazy. Instead of freaking out about headlines, let's look at what the actual document says. Which is why you have America Uncovered to help you go through 900 pages. This is why I had to start a gaming channel. The only way I can actually take a break from work is if I make my breaks work. Gamers Unbeaten is a real channel. This isn't a joke. Check it out. Let's see what the gist of Project 2025 is, and I'll leave it up to you to form your own opinion. One of the things Project 2025 wants to overhaul is the federal bureaucracy. And one of the ways it wants to do that is by putting tens of thousands of federal employees under Schedule F. Schedule F was a controversial executive order that aimed to strip job protections from a large number of federal civil servants, making it easier to hire and fire them. This was something Trump tried to do during his final year in office. Firing a bunch of people, you say. Say what you want about Trump, but he's loyal to his brand. The order was met with opposition, and Biden ultimately repealed it before it could be fully implemented. Liberals warned that allowing this to go through would serve as a litmus test to make it easier to kick out liberals and steamroll conservative presidential agendas. Another example is environmental regulations. Project 2025 encourages utilizing all available energy sources, including fossil fuels, and eliminating many green energy programs and subsidies. If only we could harness fear as an energy source, the media would have America powered for the next millennia. With immigration, Project 2025 wants to eliminate T and U visas meant to benefit victims of certain crimes like human trafficking, mandate illegal immigrant detainment, expand ICE, issue clearer guidance on illegal immigrant detention and bond policies, and deny loan access to illegal migrants. For anyone still convinced that this is Trump's plan, relax, you can tell it isn't, because it doesn't say that Mexico is going to pay for all this. And then there's the initiative's socially conservative policies. It advocates for allowing religious and moral exemptions to contraception and abortion mandates, limiting mail-order abortion pills, prohibiting Planned Parenthood from receiving Medicaid funds, and getting the CDC to monitor and track abortions. Brilliant plan, because as we all know, limiting abortions has been such a winning strategy for conservatives. I'm beginning to suspect why liberals are giving Project 2025 so much attention all of a sudden. It also wants to restrict applying sex discrimination protections to sexual orientation in hiring and firing only, restrict funding for transgender procedures, and remove DEI initiatives from federal programs. Critics look at Project 2025 and say it's an extreme right-wing blueprint to ban medication, abortion, roll back LGBTQ+ rights, expand oil drilling and coal mining, and arrest and deport 11 million undocumented immigrants. It will also use the Department of Justice as a tool to punish Trump's opponents and fire federal employees who are not loyalists. Yeah. Could you imagine how crazy it would be if the Justice Department was targeting the president's political rival? Seriously, could you imagine? Yet all the negative press over Project 2025 may have hit a nerve for Trump, because in just a few days after Roberts' remarks, Trump distanced himself from Project 2025, saying, "I have no idea who is behind it. I disagree with some of the things they're saying, and some of the things they're saying are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. Anything they do, I wish them luck, but I have nothing to do with them." What exactly Trump was referring to when he described some things that were absolutely ridiculous and abysmal isn't clear. But Trump's campaign emphasized that the Heritage Foundation is an outside group, and that proposals Trump hasn't personally endorsed should not be taken as statements of his plans. And as of now, Trump hasn't endorsed Project 2025. Unlike how he endorsed the God Bless the USA Bible, the only Bible not only endorsed by Donald Trump, but months later still instructs what to do if the pages are sticky. Trump has his own policy plans called Agenda 47 for the 47th President of the U.S. It focuses on things like illegal immigrants, energy, transgender procedures, and manufacturing jobs. But despite Trump's claims, Democrats aren't buying that Trump has nothing to do with Project 2025. They insist that Project 2025 is undeniably a Trump-driven operation, especially since many of the authors of the initiative are former Trump officials. They also point out that Trump's own super PAC runs ads highlighting Project 2025, and that Trump's allies partnered with Project 2025. So Biden's campaign continues using Project 2025 as a boogeyman to warn voters why they should vote for Biden, emphasizing that Project 2025 is the extreme policy and personnel playbook for Trump's second term that should scare the hell out of the American people. Granted, Trump didn't do any of this when he was president the first time around, but if he wins this time, it's definitely the end of America. So what do you think? Does Project 2025 scare you? Leave your comments below. And if you like America Uncovered's nonpartisan take on news and politics, be sure to subscribe, smash that like button, and support the show on patreon.com/America Uncovered. You can contribute however much you want on a monthly basis, but you can also set it up for just $1 an episode. Please help me buy the coffee I need to read these 900-page documents. Just click that orange button. And if you're interested in gaming, I also have another video I'd like you to watch. It's from my newest channel, Gamers Unbeaten, where I hide controversial topics in short videos on video games featuring politics, philosophy, and my patented sense of humor, actual patent pending. This one is about the lure of charismatic leaders in Dragon's Dogma 2. Those like Mao Zedong created powerful cults of personality that killed millions. How'd they do it? Find out by checking out the episode. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.